Okay, so I know what the title looks like, and I'm not gonna lie to you, it is really insane. But one thing I will say is that I have one word, and only one, to explain this story, and that is blindfolded. But before we get into the story, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe, because it's really annoying me how 82% of you guys aren't subscribed to the YouTube channel, but yet you are willing to watch the videos. Like, are you dumb? Just press the button, the red button. That's all I want you to do. Just press it. Sorry, I'm getting really upset, but at the same time, you do understand. All I want is to just hit 1 million subscribers. So please, just hit that subscribe button. But anyways, other than that, let's just jump straight into this insane story. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to a really intense story. So today's story takes place back when I was actually in grade 11. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you. In grade 11, a lot of people start learning things about themselves. Like, for example, I remember my grade 11 year, over like 20 guys came out as gay. How? I have no idea, because one minute you're playing football with them, and the next minute they're getting pounded from the back. Sorry, that sounds out of topic, but you guys know what I mean. A lot of people start changing towards the end of the years of high school because that's when they start becoming their true selves. Like, for example, for me, one thing I realized was that I really had a problem. I did a lot of the devil's tango, but that's not the point. I remember one time in grade 11 when I was walking down the school hallway, there was one girl that I was kind of having a fling with. If you guys don't know what a fling is, basically, it's a chick that I only use for her body. Yeah, I literally basically use this woman as an object. And me and her, we would do this naturally to each other, so it's not like a one-way street here, people. But one thing I will say is that, yeah, basically me and her, we would meet up and do the devil's tango. Not exchange any words, not really talk about much. But then I remember one time, I ended up getting a message on my phone on Snapchat, and it was the girl that I had a fling with. And when I was walking down the hallway, I decided to quickly open it and see what it was. And basically, she told me, hey, like, you down to come over tonight? I want to try something new. Try something new? What possibly else could we do? What, you want to use aliens? You want to probe me? Like, what's the plan here? Obviously, I didn't know what you wanted to try, but obviously I was gonna be nice, and I said, yeah, sure. Because like I said earlier, me and her, we didn't really exchange any words. I remember later that day, though, I ended up basically getting in my car and driving straight home to pick up, you know, protection and stuff that I had back at my house. And I remember when I was at home, I was basically kind of just sitting there thinking, what possibly would she want to try that's considered new? Like, I don't get it. Like, doing the devil's tango is such a simple, like, thing. Like, you just that's it. There's no more science to it. But I remember as I was thinking about what she meant, I basically decided to text her and say, hey, like, I know, like, you want to try something new. Is there anything specific I should know or bring just to make sure I'm, like, you know, doing the right thing, I guess? And she ended up telling me that she had everything and not to worry. So at that point, I thought maybe she was just trying to get things exciting, you know, because she likes role play and stuff. Oh, that actually makes a lot more sense now that I think about it. Anyways, going on though, I remember I basically ended up, you know, not worrying like she said, and basically later on that night, I ended up driving over to her place. When I got to her place, I remember she was acting really calm and actually acted like nothing was wrong, which, I mean, made sense. In a way, I kind of thought that she wanted to end our fling, but I guess not. And me and her, we ended up basically going to her living room and sat down. When we sat down, I remember we decided to actually talk for once instead of just getting straight to the devil's tango. And basically, she ended up telling me, okay, so like, I'm not gonna lie, like, I really enjoy doing it with you, but like, I want to make things more exciting. More exciting? Like, what do you mean? Like, do you want me like windmill? I did offer, okay, I won't lie, that is a weird thing to say, but going on. No, like, I just want you, like, maybe, like, let me have some control in this. What she means by having control is, ladies and gentlemen, I should probably explain. By her having control, she wants to basically be a dominatrix. I'm not gonna explain what that is, because obviously YouTube has guidelines that I need to follow. But let's just say that she wanted to have full control of doing whatever she wanted to me. Now, to most guys, this is a dream. But for me, no, I'm the man in the situation. I'm the only one with control. Like, that's fine, okay? That is fine. Anyways, going on with the story, I remember basically, I ended up telling her how I wasn't, like, you know, really down for that, and I didn't know what she meant. But then she basically told me, oh, come on, if you let me, you can do whatever you want to me next time. At that point, I couldn't say no. So I remember I ended up going to her bedroom, and I ended up laying down with absolutely nothing on, and basically, one thing led to another. She ended up putting a blindfold on me. She put a blindfold on me, and I didn't know what to do. But then, as I was, like, laying there blindfolded, I remember she ended up getting handcuffs, and she ended up handcuffing me to her bed. And at that point, I started freaking out. I'm not gonna lie, if I can't control what's going on or get out of situation, you know, if my, like, fight or flight is restricted, I'm gonna panic. But I remember as I was just, you know, laying there handcuffed and blindfolded, I was really concerned. And yeah, let's just say one thing led to another. We ended up doing the devil's tango, but I was full on blindfolded. Now, one thing I will say from that experience, I had no idea what was going on. And I'm not gonna lie, my other senses really started hypening and I started to smell sushi. Oh my God. She was stinky, wasn't she? The more I think about it, I'm actually really concerned with myself. This was me in high school? Like, really? Anyways, going on. I remember I was laying there basically smelling sushi and really just kind of like weirded out. And to be honest, one thing this girl started to realize was that I couldn't get it up, meaning that I couldn't get bricked. No matter what she did, she couldn't get me bricked. And I know that's like a super weird thing to say on YouTube and to you guys, but at the same time, this is my channel and this is nothing new. For God's sakes, if you guys ever joined my basement, if you guys don't know what my basement is, it's my Discord server. You guys will know we say some really out-of-pocket stuff in there. So if you guys want to join my basement or join my Discord server down below, link in the description and also the pinned comment on this video. But anyways, back to the story. I remember as I was going on, I was basically kind of panicking and kind of grossed out. And like I said, she couldn't get me to get turned on. So anyways, after like 20 minutes of her keep trying and going over and over again, I just told her to give up and she ended up basically taking off my blindfold. And yeah, she was just not happy. Her face was just really upset and really mad. And when I looked in the background, I saw a whip, but I don't think that has anything to do with the story, to be honest. And she never ended up using it, so I guess I was safe. And yeah, let's just say that basically is it for the story. Bottom line is that if you're a man that likes control, don't do it blindfolded, or just don't let the girl have full control. Unless you're like, you know, a beta male, you know, like you're one of those like, you know, little boy Andy's degenerates kind of people, then, you know, I mean, you can do it. Why not? But anyways, guys, that is basically it for today's story. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And like I always say, follow for more embarrassing stories. Peace out, guys. I remember when I was sitting on the couch with her, out of nowhere, she decided to take off her sunglasses, and I started to realize that she would not look at me whatsoever straight in the eye. And I looked at her saying, oh, like, do you think I'm ugly or something? Oh, what? No, I'm just blind. Wait, what? You're blind? Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name's Bubba, and welcome back to another really embarrassing and I gotta say really sad story. The reason I say it's sad is because, well, I'm not gonna lie, this was one of my lowest moments, I think, throughout my high school years. But basically, this all starts off back when I was in grade 11. Now, in grade 11, I was a major player. Like, I am not joking. I really did not care if the chick would act weird or if she was, you know, a really ugly chick. Like, in a way, I really did not have standards. But I remember there was one time where I was walking down the school hall with me and my boys, and out of nowhere, we ended up seeing this one girl that was basically walking around the school really weirdly with her friends. And the reason I say really weirdly is because she would always like kind of like lock hands with her friends so that I guess like, you know, they could travel together in groups. I thought this was something that girly girls would just naturally do. But when I looked at her, I realized that she was a really attractive girl in sunglasses. And I remember I looked at one of my buddies and said, yo, bro, do you see that girl over there? Oh, yeah, I've actually never seen her before. Yeah, dude, who is she? She's hot as hell. Like, why is she in our school? And how have I never seen her before? Oh, I don't know. Maybe she's like an exchange student or something. She doesn't look like she's from here. And why is she wearing sunglasses inside? Dude, I have no idea, but I definitely want to go talk to her. So at this moment, I remember me and my friends would kind of like tail behind her and see where she would go. It's really weird to say that. I don't mean it in a creepy way. I'm just saying this in a way where, you know, I just wanted to figure out who she was and find the proper moment to approach her. But the whole time me and my friends were basically following behind them, we realized that there was no perfect opportunity to go up to her. Like, none at all. She was always with her friends and she was always locking arms with them. So in a way, there was no possible way for me to actually get to go up to her and speak to her. And no, I was not going to go up to her with all her friends around because I think we all know as guys, that's really not the move. So I ended up just laying back and not doing anything, and I decided to save it for another day. Until after school came around, I remember I decided to go to the mall by myself because I had to pick up a new video game that I wanted to play since, well, that was mostly my life throughout high school. Video games was a big part of it and still is to this day, thanks to you guys. And I remember as I was in GameStop, just basically picking up a game, I ended up seeing her sitting down in the food court of the mall. I remember I kept looking at her thinking, oh, wait, is that her? But I recognized the sunglasses and I instantly decided to be like, oh, wait, she's alone sitting in the food court? This is my moment. So I bought the video game that I wanted to pick up and I ran straight to the food court and went up to her. I went up to her and sat right in front of her and said, hey, like, you come here often? Huh? Oh, sorry, I didn't know you were there. Hi. You didn't know I was here? I was right in front of you. Oh, sorry, I meant that as a joke. Who are you? Oh, we go to the same school together. I saw you in the hallway one day. I was gonna walk up to you, but you're always hanging out with your friends. Oh yeah, those girls helped me through so much. Yeah, I bet. So I was wondering, like, do you want to like maybe like hang out sometime? Are you asking me out? Yeah, why? Is that weird? Do you have like a boyfriend? Because if you do, I didn't know, I swear. Oh, no, I don't. But I don't really get asked out often, I guess. Really? A girl looking like you don't get asked out that much? That's crazy. And I remember I basically spat some W Riz, and and this girl really liked it. The point where she ended up giving me her phone number, and well, one thing led to another. I remember I just got up and walked away. At that moment, I ended up texting the boys group chat that we had back when I was in high school that I pulled the girl and I finally got her number, and all the boys were cheering me on, hyping me up. But I gotta say, things got a lot weirder, I want to say, throughout the rest of the day, because every time I would shoot her a message, it would take her like way too long to reply. Like, I thought this girl was generally interested in me, but if it takes you more than 4 hours to reply to a guy that's trying to hit you up, chances are you probably aren't that into the guy, or at least that's what the guy thinks. At least so I believe. So I remember as I'm just kind of like sitting there waiting for a text message back, I remember me and the boys were just talking, playing Call of Duty over Xbox, and basically talking about this girl that we got to see today at the school. And one of my friends ended up asking me over Xbox saying, yo, Bubba, I was just curious, bro, like, where are you gonna ask her out? Like, are you gonna go to the movies? Are you gonna take her for a walk in the park? I don't know. To be honest, I was planning on maybe tomorrow just asking her to go see a movie. Like, I don't see how a movie can hurt anyone, right? Yeah, every girl loves movies, is what he said, and I agreed. Back in high school, going to the theater was like a common first date that many girls would like to go on. So I remember when I laid in bed that night, I decided to basically shoot another text message to see if she was even still alive, but clearly she wasn't answering me. So the next day at school in the morning, I ended up finding her near like the special ed class, which I didn't know why she was around there, but then I started to realize that maybe she like helped like, you know, students that have like disabilities and stuff. And I walked up to her saying, hey, hi, what are you doing here? I was just gonna say, like, you know, like, were you ever planning on texting me back? Oh, sorry, I don't really use my phone often. Oh, no, it's all good, I understand. I was wondering, do you want to go like maybe see a movie tomorrow? You want to see a movie with me tomorrow? Yeah, like a movie. Like, don't you like movies? I mean, I'm not really the biggest fan of them, if I'm being honest. Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't know. Do you want to maybe go for a walk in the park? Oh, yeah, that sounds nice. Okay, cool. Let's go to a walk in the park tomorrow if you're down. Yeah, I'll see you there at 3:30. Yeah, 3:30 sounds good to me. I'll be there. And basically that's how the date was planned. Now, reminder, this whole time, every time I would see this girl, she was always wearing sunglasses, and I thought this was maybe like a fashion statement she was trying to do, because let's be real here, fashion statements are always the most weirdest things now in this generation. Like, let's be real here. But I remember the next day ended up coming around, and I ended up telling the boys how I had a date that day, and they were all really hyped up for me. But I think once I got to the actual park and saw her was where things got really, well, questionable. Because I remember once I got to the park and I sat down on the bench waiting for her that we said we would meet at, I ended up sitting there for like a good 2 to 3 hours until I remember she ended up walking up with me with one of her friends, locking arms once again, and I looked at her saying, oh, like, I didn't expect you to bring a friend. Oh, sorry, no, she's just leaving. She's just guiding me here. Oh, you never been here before? Well, let's just say I don't know the area that well. Oh, my bad. I didn't know. And her friend just looks at me like up and down. It was pretty clear that she was not like a big fan of me, and she ended up walking away. Now, me and this girl, when we were sitting together at the bench, I remember I decided to ask the elephant in the room, and that was, wait, I have a question. Why do you wear sunglasses all the time? Oh, I'm not a really big fan of my eyes. You don't like your eyes? Well, yeah, I guess. Why? Like, you should just take them off. I want to see. She ended up taking off her sunglasses, and at that moment, I remember this girl was like looking like in all different directions, but towards me. And that's when I said, you're not really looking at me. Are you okay? Like, do you think I'm ugly or something? Oh, no, Bubba, don't you know I'm blind? Wait, what? You're blind? Is what I said back. And I remember at this moment, she started going red, and she was really embarrassed. At that moment, I started to feel pretty bad, and I'm like, oh, no, I didn't know you were blind. I mean, like, I thought like something was off about you, but like, not that that's an off thing. I just, and at that moment, I just started stuttering back to back to back until she started laughing. At this point, I'm not gonna lie, even though she was blind, she was actually a really cool person, and me and her, we started to basically walk around together, and I started to realize why, you know, girls would lock arms with her and basically, like, you know, walk around and stuff, and why she always wears sunglasses. Because the girl was blind. Yeah, no surprise there. Honestly, I guess you guys saw it from a mile away, especially since the title of the video is literally she was blind, but I'm gonna be for real with you guys, I did not know. Obviously, I didn't want to be rude and cancel her date or anything, so, you know, I got to know her and everything, and she did invite me back to her place, and I will say this, doing the devil's tango with a blind person isn't really that bad. You just have to control where they touch, which is really weird to say on a video. I understand that, but to all the blind people out there, you guys deserve love too. And in a way, I guess I kind of like, you know, had a good time. I'm not gonna lie. I guess there was really no embarrassment in this story other than, you know, me realizing that she was blind. But other than that, I mean, would you guys ever do a blind chick, or I guess go on a date with a blind chick? Because if you would, then just follow for more embarrassing stories just like this one. Peace out, guys. Okay, so one thing I realized growing up is that there are a lot of different types of people, and I don't mean this in like the more like, you know, devil's tango way. Like, I mean this in like the most general way. Like, I know there's a lot of different people that, like, for example, they are, you know, handicapped, they're on a wheelchair, they're blind, and I'm not gonna lie, since I was a total F-boy of the century in high school, I will say I did my fair share of handicapped people, I should say. I know it sounds bad, but you know what? Everyone needs some love, don't they? Or should I say everyone needs the devil's tango?
Tango.
But I'm gonna be honest here, I did not know this happened. But before we get into the story, as usual, make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already. Seriously means a lot when you guys do. And also follow me on Instagram since I am the hottest guy in the world. Like literally the hottest guy in the world. All right, let's just get straight into this. Yo, what is going on, you guys? My name is Bubba and welcome back to another crazy story. So this story takes place, funny enough, back when I was 16 years old. So 2017. And in 2017, I'm not gonna lie, I literally did anything that walked. That sounds really bad, but if you guys been on my channel long enough, you would understand what I'm talking about. Anyways, guys, so basically I remember one time back in high school, my friend was having this like little get together. It wasn't a party, it wasn't anything crazy, it was just a simple get together. So he literally walked up to me in the middle of the hallway and said, yo Bubba, bro, like I was just wondering, bro, like I'm having a get together, I'm having a bunch of friends come over and stuff, like I don't know, man, like it's nothing huge, but like I suggest you come over, bro, like we'd love to see you there. I told him I was down. He ended up sending me his address for me to go to, and then when that happened, I remember I ended up going home and getting ready for this little get together. Obviously I didn't wear anything serious, I was just wearing basically my hobo clothes. If you guys don't know what hobo clothes are, for some reason teenagers in high school nowadays like to wear sweatpants and pajamas basically, but me, my hobo clothes were literally my gray sweatpants and a white sweater. Yeah, not the smartest thing, but you know, it is what it is. And then I ended up getting in my car and driving straight there. I remember when I got there, instantly I saw a bunch of people all hanging out, they're all chilling, having fun, and I basically just like, you know, kind of just ended up going around saying hi to everyone, catching up, until I realized something. There was one girl that was literally like kind of like in the edge of the room, but she was just kind of sitting down looking like everywhere. Like she was kind of looking at like a bunch of different places, looking at the sky, looking at the TV, then she looks at the ground. Like it made no sense to me. She literally seemed lost. So I remember I ended up walking up to her and I kind of just sat beside her, and she ended up kind of like getting startled as if she didn't like see me there, which was really weird. So I ended up looking at her, I'm like, oh hey, like sorry, like I didn't mean to scare you. She looked at me and she's like, oh, like it's all good, like don't worry about it, like I just didn't expect you to be there. Didn't expect me to be here. It's like, oh yeah, like I recognize your voice, you're Bubba, right? Recognize my voice? Yeah, I'm literally right here. What do you mean? I was so confused because I'm not gonna lie, growing up I didn't really interact with a lot of blind people back in my day, and at this moment I didn't know she was blind. I thought she was just playing an act with me. So I remember I ended up like basically like kind of looking at her and I'm like, okay, and we kind of just sat down. We all just started hanging out and stuff, and I remember some of her friends ended up walking up to her and seeing me sitting beside her and got worried. So they ended up going to the girl, literally picking her up and basically telling her to like not talk to me and stuff. I don't know why. Apparently I had a really bad reputation since I did the Devil's Tango with literally almost every chick in my high school. But then I remember I basically like kind of just like ignored it for a bit, and then all the boys came down and sat beside me. They all sat beside me and they're like, oh, like Bubba, what do you think of that girl, bro? Like what do you think? Like what are you thinking, bro? And me in my head I'm like, dude, like I don't know, she's weird. I scared her by literally just sitting beside her, and she literally saw me sit down beside her. She's like a weird Champ Andy, dude. And all my friends are like, ooh, okay, like usual high school people do. I don't know why in high school everyone's just really weird and awkward, and every interaction you do is like, oh, big deal, when it really isn't. But anyways, going on with the story though, I remember like later on throughout that party I managed to see her alone again, and I ended up walking up to her. I'm like, hey, like here's my phone, like I was wondering if you like wanted me to add you on Snap, because I'm not gonna lie, like she was actually really hot, and since you know I didn't have much time, I just got straight to the chase and asked her for a Snapchat. She ended up saying, oh yeah, sure, and then she ended up just telling me her username out loud instead of me adding her. So I ended up adding her, and I kind of just walked away from her afterwards because, well, I don't know, my friends were calling me over and it was kind of just awkward standing there, so I just left. When I got back to the boys, they're like, oh, like you added her on Snap, nice, I know what you're gonna do, Bubba, Devil's Tango. And I was like, yeah, basically. Anyways, going on though, so I remember afterwards when that happened, the party was like kind of dying down, or the get together I should say, and basically I ended up just getting in my car and going back home. But on the way back home, I remember I got a Snapchat from this girl, and it was literally the blind chick. She sent me a picture of like her shoes or her feet. I have no idea. It was super awkward, and I ended up just sending a picture of like half my face, and then she ended up just snapping me saying, oh, by the way, like you sounded really cute at the party. I sounded cute? You could have literally saw me. What do you mean sounded? So I ended up just sending her a picture of a question mark, and she kind of just like ended up saying, oh, okay, and just ignoring me. I don't know why. So she left me on red for like 2 days, and then 2 days later I remember I got another Snapchat from her, but then she was taking a picture of her in front of the mirror, but it was like a really blurry image. It made no sense to me, so I ended up snapping her back saying, yo, like I don't know like what you're thinking, but like you are actually kind of cute. You know, just me making my move, because I'm not gonna lie, she was attractive. She was not an ugly blind person, you know what I mean? So I was like, you know, like trying to hit her up. She kind of just snaps me back saying, oh, like do you want to like maybe like hang out? And then I said, sure, like I'm down. So I asked her like where to go and stuff, and she ended up just telling me her address to go pick her up and we could just chill at her house. And you know, I was down, I didn't see why not. So I remember I ended up getting my bag and everything, and the next day I ended up just getting ready and going straight to her house. house. When I got to her house, I remember I saw a lot of weird things. For example, there were like major security cameras around the house. There was like, you know, markers on the ground or something. I don't know. It seems so weird. But I remember when I walked up to her doorstep and I knocked on the door, she answered the door immediately as if she knew I was already there. My guess was that she saw me on the security camera, but I wasn't for sure. Anyways, going on, after a while, I remember she invited me inside and basically we started talking and stuff, and she said how she needed to walk her dog. She had like this dog that was like one of those like anxiety dogs, or like, you know, for those people that are like, oh my goodness, I need my dog, I'm gonna die kind of people. And I thought she was one of those girls, so I was like, oh, like sure, you know what, let's walk your dog. So we ended up walking her dog, and I remember mid walk, out of nowhere, like I kind of like let go of her because like she like wrapped her arm around my arm, and it was kind of awkward because I thought she was trying to make a move, which was cute at first, but I kind of like moved away after a while. And then she ended up being like, oh, like it's okay, you don't have to walk me, I could walk myself. I'm like, walk yourself? And then out of nowhere, and this is the part where things get really crazy, out of nowhere this girl pulls out a walking stick, a literal walking stick. I look at her and I start laughing. I'm like, like you don't actually need one of those, right? She looks at me and she's like, yeah. I'm like, what do you mean yeah? And she's like, oh, like you didn't know I was blind? Bruh, wait, what? This girl was literally blind. She told me I was cute, or sorry, sounded cute, and the more I put things together, it made sense. I literally hit up a blind chick. Like, what? Anyways, I didn't want to like leave because usually at that moment, like I would have just left, but I'm not gonna lie, she was hot, she was nice to me, and on top of that, I didn't want to just leave her. Even though she wouldn't see me leaving her, it just wouldn't sit right in my stomach, and I would probably feel guilty for the rest of the night. So I ended up just hanging out with her. I walked around with her, we went back to her place, and she told me about how her senses are really high and stuff. And I did a dumb thing asking her, oh, like if your like senses are higher, like does that mean like you feel things better? She looks at me and smiles. She's like, yeah, you want to try? Try what? At that point, she literally jumped on top of me and she took off everything. And yes, one thing led to another. We ended up doing the devil's tango. And I'm not gonna lie, usually people would say like, oh, is it weird like doing it with a blind person? No, it's not. It's literally another person. They just can't see you. So if like, you know, if let's say like you're not like confident in the way you look and everything, I mean, just get a blind chick, I guess. I don't know. Like the girl thought I sounded cute when I literally had sweatpants and pajama pants on. Like I'm not gonna lie, like I was winning either way. But yeah, either way, me and her, we ended up doing the devil's tango. And I don't know where, I remember in the middle of it, she ended up like jumping off me and she's like, oh my goodness, I hear them. And I'm like, what do you hear? I don't hear anything. And then at that moment, I literally hear the door starting to get open. I'm like, how would you hear that? I couldn't even hear that. And she's like, oh, quickly, like get out the back door. Like now. So I instantly just run out the back door and I just basically ran around the house all the way straight to my car. And then right as like, you know, her parents walk in, her parents are like, honey, we're home. Oh, wait a minute. Who's the blue car outside? And at that moment when they saw the blue car, I was kind of hiding in the bush in my underwear because I didn't want them seeing me. And she's like, oh, nothing. Like, don't worry about it. It's, I think, some delivery guy. And like, I kind of just like sat in the bush for like another like 20 minutes because I wanted to play it safe here, people. And then they all went inside. I got in my car and I drove back. And on the way driving back home, I felt guilty, but at the same time, not guilty. Because overall, she really wanted to do the devil's tango in the first place. But I'm not gonna lie, she didn't know what I looked like. So I can't say like I pulled her with my looks or I pulled her with my smooth talk, but apparently I sounded attractive enough. I don't know, like don't get me wrong, people say I have a sexy voice, but I didn't expect that much of a nice voice. But I mean, I'm gonna leave off the story here. Make sure you guys do leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you guys haven't already, and I'll see you dudes in the next video. All right, peace out, guys.
Let's go. Should I make it a story? Let's click record. Got that TikTok with 2 mil hit different with some more. She said she love me, she capped. Should I ask it for sure? I got 100K for my life's work, so mama.